shady
I have a
stuff.
question for Dom that I think you would want to ask for your channel. I'm trying to get you views, man.
Yeah, go. Shoot it.
Because you're a direct hire for the city of Mito, is it possible? What advice do you have for applicants, future prospective applicants who want to do this direct hire route? How do they get in contact with these kinds of contracting organizations and things like that? Because I mean, for the JET program, for me it was from literally A to Z. I applied. I happened to get lucky, got an interview, got my placement through the organization, and everything from there I didn't have to do. All I had to do was get my butt to Japan, follow the manager who picked me up, and that was that.
Yeah.
I didn't have to talk to, but at the same time too, it was like kind of like unknown. I didn't know where I was gonna be placed until like a month before, and then I would have to like pack accordingly for that area. Do I need a car? Did I not? Fortunately enough, I didn't need a car. I found out my route to school was really easy, so I was like, but they told me all of this.
Yeah.
But for direct contracts and things like direct hires, how does one go about searching that? Because I can't just, is it just as easy as Googling, I want to teach English in Japan? I mean, it is, but...
It is, but not really, because it's not gonna say exactly like direct hire. Like, it doesn't say that.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know that until later on when I was actually in the program. Honestly, like, if you went to college or university, the first thing would be to like ask your professor or like your Japanese teacher. They most definitely have like information about like
or
teaching.
Connection.
Yeah, or connection about teaching abroad. That's pretty much how I found out about it. I didn't know it was a direct hire. All I knew was it was called AET Mito Program, and she's told me it is like JET, and I was like, okay, I will try.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah, like why not? And it didn't really tell me much about the benefits that it had. It had some of them, but I was like, let's just give it a shot. And then honestly, after I sent the email to the recruiter, that's when I found out all about the benefits. So sometimes like you don't know until you actually ask like the recruiters and stuff. Like once you kind of have your foot in the door. So you just have to ask.
I would also take it a step further and say, try reaching out to your cities if they have one. A sister city. If your town has a sister city or whatever.
Yeah, like Riverside is Tohoku, Anaheim has Mito. Check if your city has a sister city or any neighboring cities.
And if it has one in Japan, even better.
Yeah. Well,
and do some research.
I think it's find a direct hire job is really just connection.
Yeah.
Because like looking through, like you just do like a Google search, things that will come up are the Eikaiwa programs. JET is gonna pop up, and then you got the big like Interact.
Yeah, direct hire is not gonna come up for a direct hire job. When it's a direct hire job, it's from like straight up the city, like from
the Board
the
of
city.
Education.
Yeah, and so it's not gonna say that.
Yeah. I feel like they don't have they don't really feel like taking out so much resources on marketing their program. So they rely on just connections of like, we know a person who knows a person, and that person can teach here. So it's really just trying to just ask your professor,
even if you
friends.
didn't go to like university or college, you can still hit up like professors and stuff, and I'm sure they'd still give you information.
And then they'll tell you the requirements then.
And I'm sure they'd be happy to help in any case, because they're probably like not the easiest, but they're kind of like one of the best ways to like know information.
I would also add that if you want to do teaching in Japan but you don't want to do younger kids and stuff, like to teach younger kids and things like that, I would take it a step further and say look at universities, because they would hire English English-speaking natives to come teach GE classes, because students, like Japanese students who are there when they take GE classes and they had to learn like a language or stuff. Yeah, some people take Korean or Spanish or Chinese and things like that, but one of the classes, it would be English. And I actually know a couple friends who did it for like a 1-year contract teaching at a local university near Tokyo, of all places.
Oh, wow.
Well, they were in Saitama, but that's like an hour away from Tokyo. So universities too.
It's really just research and connections.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to a couple people too who like applied for JET, didn't get in, and they thought like, oh, that was my one chance to get it. You know, JET was great. I don't want to say that because I was a participant and everything, but JET is not the only way.
Yeah.
Like, I want to emphasize that. It really isn't the only way.
I actually, when I got into, like before I was really in the program, I was like, I guess I'll do like AET Mito and then like, I don't know, try for JET afterwards and like transfer or something. But then I ended up really liking my program in any case. So I was like, I'll just stay here. It's like not, after hearing like from you, I was like, oh, it's not like that much different from like the benefits and everything. It's
when I was talking to, because I had these rose-colored glasses on. I got onto JET, and it is a good organization. I can't not say that it's a very like well-round recognized organization. But when I was talking to you about like, oh, so what do you guys get out of, like in your contract? And you were telling me basically you got the same thing I did. Yeah. And I was like, what the? Yeah. I was like kind of surprised. I was like, oh,
JET's not the only one that, you know, can provide that.
Yeah.
But
let me tell you, it depends on your school's money too, right?
Yeah.
Because even though Mito can offer these things, maybe in another city they can't because maybe they don't have enough funding.
Yeah. And like the program, direct hires usually are like, so there's like JET, and then usually direct hire might be kind of like the second tier of like good benefits and stuff like that. If you're looking into that.
A bunch of people were saying that it's hard to find direct hire jobs.
Yes.
And so almost everybody goes for JET because they're like, oh, it's the most prestigious one. Like it gives you like the most pay, support, and just overall they're just gonna take care of you, right? And then the next level would be like the dispatch companies like Interact, and I can't remember the other big one. They say that like a lower level would be the Eikaiwa, like Eon, like GABA, all these other ones. I mean, it also depends on what you want to teach, what style, like in which, and also how you want to work. Because teaching in a public school like that is a standard, kind of like a 9 to 5, right? Like Monday to Friday. But these other Eikaiwas, they usually have Monday off, and then you're gonna teach 1 or 2 weekends, depending on. It's really weird. Like the schedule's so weird. And it's usually later in the day. So most people don't want to do that because then they won't have like a life outside of work. Right? It's hard to hang out with people. It's hard to meet people. So that's usually how I see people rank it. They're like JET, but if possible, find direct hire. So they tend to put direct hire as this like the holy grail, like because you can stay indefinitely. Because doesn't the JET program has like a limit?
There is. Is it 5 years?
5 years,
Yeah.
You can only be on the program for 5 years.
I guess if it's in that sense.
Yeah, but some people are saying like, with the direct hire, it's like a really competitive pay.
Correct.
And you're essentially like part of the staff, right?
Yeah, so for Mito, they changed it starting this year. Essentially, your benefits are pretty much the same as like the teachers.
Like a regular teacher, right?
Yeah.
Like insurance stuff and all that.
The insurance and the bonuses and stuff.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you're one of them, but like with JET, it's like you have like this time limit.
Yeah.
That's why they're saying like, oh, if you like age out of the JET program, they're like saying like, the next kind of step up would be direct hire rather than like stepping down and going to like Interact or something.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Because like those dispatch companies take so much money off of your actual salary. They're like the middlemen. And they're taking it off of like what the Board of Education is supposed to be directly paying. And you also would have to take care of your insurance and all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, one of the restrictions with JET and stuff is that you cannot have technically you can't have another job with Jen.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, but with Interact you can have another job. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because it's a government
thing. Yeah.
You're a civil servant, so you cannot.
Yeah. Because it's like if you have another job, it's like, well, you're not dedicating all your time to like your actual job.
Oh, I thought it was because you guys like the visa is something like English, like instructor.
Yeah, my what was yours? Was yours humanities?
What?
Your visa.
Classification.
It was visa. It was instructor.
Yeah, mine was too. Yeah. But there is one called humanities for there's one called humanities for international relations, and if you have that, you can get any job. But for Kyoiku visa, you have to have an education job, like a teaching job. So if you can get humanities, international, whatever, you can do teaching, you can do IT work.